A little bit of crazy, but a whole lot of right. You're listening to the Average Joe Podcast with Damon Gilbert.
Hey folks, how you doing? Yeah, what do I want to talk about today? I'm actually out for a walk right now, so we're going to have a little time together, all right? I had a medical scare last year. I was thinking about this as I was driving the kid to school today, and I saw a woman who was sitting in her car and she was smoking. Okay? Now, had it been 1965, I wouldn't have thought a thing about it. Not a single thing. I remember the times when, as a kid, I would be in the front seat, my mom would be smoking, the windows would be up, and I'm inhaling secondhand smoke like you cannot believe. Never was an issue back then. Ever. No one ever thought anything about it. Never. It was just the thing everybody did. There were ashtrays in restaurants. So, I can understand that. Back in the 60s. Plus, doctors were actually telling you that smoking was not bad for you. The Surgeon General even said that. He recommended, back in the 60s, a particular brand. So, I could see that. Back in the 60s, maybe late 60s, early 70s, I could understand that. But you know as well as I do, that whole scenario has been debunked and proven to be nothing more than a lie. So, if someone came to you and said, hey, it's probably not a good idea to walk in traffic during rush hour without looking both ways. Actually, it's probably not a good idea to walk along the street or in the street any time of day, much less during rush hour. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument that you did that. That you were a person who said, you know what, I'm going to do that anyway. I'm going to walk out in the middle of traffic during rush hour. Well, let's say they got hit. Would you feel sorry for them? Would you? Because I wouldn't. You knew going in that wasn't a good idea, right? Didn't you know that? And that's what I would be asking. That'd be the question I'd be asking. So, having said that, when I saw this woman, I thought, she is doing something deadly. She's been told that that's not a good idea. Is it a sign of low intelligence? I don't know. I've had people tell me that quitting smoking is harder than quitting heroin. So I've never been in that position, but I will say this. If someone tells you that it's going to kill you and you don't stop doing it, if it in fact kills you, am I supposed to feel bad about that? I don't know, just a question. If you've got an opinion on this, I'd love to hear it. Just put it down in the comments, because I'd like to know your opinion on this. Because for me, it just seems like it'd be counterintuitive, wouldn't it? So, where am I going with all this? Well, last October, May? Last October, I had to go see the doctor. I was having trouble with my liver. The enzymes on your blood tests were a little bit suspect. So I went to see a person who specializes in that. And they did a sonogram on me. They did several tests on me, including the blood tests. And when I met with her back in October, she said, you have a fatty liver. You have the beginnings of a fatty liver. And I knew that. I mean, I didn't know that, but I knew I was having problems. And I had a feeling I knew what was causing it. Because I was drinking too much. And when I say I was drinking too much, I didn't mean I was an alcoholic. What I meant was, let me explain. It became a habit more than anything. I'd get home in the evening after a day, sit down, make myself drink. One drink turned into two, sometimes three. And I don't think I was eating quite right. Now, mind you, I'm physically fit, but this was a separate issue completely. So she said, the interesting thing is that the liver is one of the few organs that can actually repair itself. So she said, if you do a couple things, she said, I think we could address this. She said, lose 5 pounds and cut back on your drinking. Now, she didn't come around and say it, but she did show me a model of a liver. She showed me what stage of liver disease I was in and what it ultimately could lead to. Now, I was in the early stages, so I caught it in time. But it was kind of a wake-up call for me. So what I said was, okay, lose 5 pounds, cut back on my drinking. I'm one of those guys that if you tell me to do something, I always go over and above. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything. At work, at play, it doesn't make any difference. I always go over and above. So what I did was, instead of losing 5 pounds, I lost 20, and I stopped drinking. Now, fast forward, 5 months later, I'm back in our office. We've done blood tests. We've done sonogram, whatever else they were doing. Anyway, turns out my liver has gotten much better. Now, where am I going with this story? Well, I had a brother-in-law who was a heavy drinker, heavy smoker. He could have had that reversed. He was told by his doctor, if you do A and B, stop smoking, stop drinking, we can do A, and we can perform a procedure on you, and you'll be just fine. And he decided not to do that. He opted for, I'm not going to do anything. And guess what happened? He is deceased. He had just retired. So I guess the point here is what I'm trying to make is, do you really feel sorry for people when they do that? I mean, what do you think? And some people will tell me that it's a disease, and I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that. And I understand alcoholism. I do. The thing I don't understand is the smoking part. And I'm not trying to say that people don't have willpower. I just don't think that they try hard enough. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I know you can get addicted to things. I just don't understand how, when someone tells you your choices are A, stop doing this behavior and live, or B, continue doing this particular thing and die. Now, are doctors always right? Of course not. And I know there will be people who will say, I had a grandpa, drank whiskey every day and smoked 2 packs of cigarettes, lived to be 96. Yes, I understand that. There are always exceptions to every rule. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. All I'm saying is the vast majority will catch up with you. It just will. And there's not much you can do about it other than stop the behavior. So, I don't know. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. I was just curious. That's the way I look at it. It's no different than playing in traffic. You know it's not good for you. You know it's dangerous. And you continue to do it. So if you get run over by a tractor trailer, am I supposed to feel sorry for you? I don't know. I'm torn there. All right, that's all I got right now. You guys have a good day. Peace out.
A little bit of crazy, but a whole lot of right. You're listening to the Average Joe Podcast with Damon Gilbert.